And one thing I was thinking about is, you know how some I hear people talking like, or like girls sometimes saying, "Oh, this is like not in season anymore," or that. And I'm like, all these big brands, they like, for some, as time goes on, like let's say for the fall season, this is the new thing that's like exciting. This new thing, but I'm in my head, I'm like, why do you decide that? What if I wanted to wear something like that, but the outside perception, everyone's gonna look at me like, oh, that's old stuff.
Okay. So I generally, I, I don't want to say I agree with that or disagree.
Okay.
And I will relate it back to depends on how you pull it.
Okay.
If you pull it off. Um, there's a certain style, let's say, that's adopted with the general public.
Exactly. Yeah.
But we, again, as I mentioned, we're a seasonless brand, etc. Um, like, I think we also, as a society, are moving towards a certain dimension that are very individualistic in a way that we want to kind of wear what represents us as individuals. We want to showcase. We want to make a point, or we love who we are, and we just want to show the world. So I think we've come to an era where it really depends on personal style and what you want to do with it. So there isn't something to me that's, yeah, maybe certain details, elements. Sometimes you're like, oh, that's such a nice piece from a vintage piece or something of that sort. But then let's not forget, like, vintage has become in style as well. So I feel like that's completely irrelevant to us. Maybe in the early 2000s, I would have agreed with it more,
Mm.
but I don't agree with it that much right now.
Okay. Interesting. So times have changed basically.
Big time.
Big time. Yeah. Everyone, like you said, is now it's about this is how I don't care what the style is, what's going on. This is how I want to wear. This is how I want to represent myself.
Yeah.
Okay. And what do you think now? Let's say, okay, you said that was interesting. So you said in the 2000s, early 2000s till now, you could have like the style probably played a bigger factor in like how you dressed. But now that things are changing, what do you think like moving forward now, let's say for the next like 10 years, what do you think is going to be the new thing? Is it just going to be like heightened that individualism, or do you think there's more things to come?
I think definitely heightened individualism
Yeah.
because right now we are living in a pandemic world as well.
Sure.
I think if you're showcasing or you're somehow now wearing getting dressed for yourself, not for anyone else. Like
Mm-hmm.
imagine
Mm.
how many outings you've reduced in this year or anything of that sort. So every morning you're like, maybe I'll see someone if you're going out. It depends on which country you're in.
Sure, sure.
But most countries you're currently under lockdown, so
Yeah.
it's like I'm not seeing anyone, so I'm getting dressed for me.
Yeah.
So that it will heighten that.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe in certain elements. So for example, work clothing. A lot of people and we're forecasting or are forecasting that work outfits or work clothing is not going to be back or sellable until 2022 maybe.
That's true. Yeah, actually, you hear like a lot of
Yeah.
people be like, I haven't worn a suit or like a shirt in like 8, 9 months now because I've just been at home.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now, yes, the trends do change. So we have to follow trends in a way that we have to provide products that are more comfortable. For example, right now, as we're producing and designing, so we're thinking more comfortable pieces, pieces that you can throw into a washing machine, no problem, because as now everyone, as soon as they come back home, they just throw their pieces. So things like that. So it's just uh, certain elements. It's how culture affects it. Again, it's
Yeah.
not. It's external factors that you have to adapt to.
That's true. That's true. So, on the concept of trends, who decides who sets the trend? Do you know what I
I
mean?
think it's the
Because
people.
it's the people, you think?
Yeah.
Whatever everyone starts to like move towards, that is now the new trend.
I think it's the people with an element of creatives. So the creatives in general, because how do creatives get inspired? It's from their surrounding.
Yeah.
So it's the creatives presenting something that people feed into it,
Yeah.
and then they set the tone for the rest of the world to follow.
Sure.
So it's somehow the people fading inspiration to creatives.
That's kind of where, yeah. So
Yeah.
that's actually interesting that I've never looked at it in that way, because I thought it's just, I guess the big boys, the big fashion brands in the world, they're the ones who set the new trends, and now everyone else kind of follows. But it's almost the other way around. They're seeing this is where everyone's going, so let's start making it like that, so everyone continues to go that way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I never thought of that.